Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the public forum of the 28th Hydrogen and Fuel Cells Europe exposition here at the Hannovermesse 2022. As it's the public forum, I would please ask you to, you the public, take a seat, find a spot. We still have some seats left in the front here. I see some people standing. You can still find a comfortable seat. And would you please help me welcome Enapter, with whom I will be talking about upnumbering for large-scale hydrogen production, green hydrogen production that should be using AEM electrolyzers. I will be speaking to the Managing Director and CTO, Jan-Justus Schmidt. So please give a hand. All right, Jan-Justus, welcome.
Thanks.
For those, I can barely imagine, but for the people here that have never heard of Enapter, can you maybe give us an explanation? What is Enapter? What are you doing?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. So, Enapter is now a global energy tech company. We are working on AEM Electrolysis, which is the next generation electrolysis technology, which we believe will be the cheapest way of producing green hydrogen. And so we are very much focused on leveraging this technology and focusing on just continuously reducing the cost. We have a very different approach to what other people have in the market, in that we can use AEM technology to achieve very low specific costs for hydrogen generation on a very small scale. And so we are upnumbering and producing lots and lots and lots of compact electrolyzer modules that can then be combined to form any size of hydrogen generation plant at a very, very economical cost.
Wow, okay, that's a lot to unpack there. Let's start with the AEM part. I've been walking around here. I often see PEM electrolyzers, PEM fuel cells. That's not what you guys do. You guys do AEM electrolyzers. So what is the difference?
Well, basically from a cell architecture point of view, it's quite similar. With AEM electrolyzer technology, we combine all the benefits from a PEM electrolyzer, but using all the low-cost materials of an alkaline system. So we have no dependencies on critical raw materials. We have a very, very low cost for all the stack components. And due to the way that the cell is set up, we have all the operational benefits that also PEM has, which is high dynamic operation, high efficiency, and very, very simple balance of plant around the stack. And that's one of the keys to also be able to make a small modular system cost effectively.
Okay, so it's better and it's cheaper. Why is not everybody using the AEM electrolyzers then?
It's a good question. I think that there's already now a consensus, almost we could say. We see that it's quite well established that AEM has the potential to reduce the cost significantly compared to the other technologies. And we really see AEM as the next gen electrolysis technology, and we believe it will eventually replace the other technologies.
Okay, and I think AEM technology is not the only point where you guys go different than the competitors. It's also in the way you construct these modules. You make small electrolyzers and you combine these to make larger scale systems.
Yep.
Why?
Well, I mean, in the first, the one way to look at it is that the reason we're working in this field is to stop climate change. So there's a huge urgency for us to deliver and bring technology and roll it out into the world and actually start making green hydrogen projects a reality. And so we can do that very, very quickly with our small modular system. We have more than 3,000 of them already sold, millions of hours of monitoring data for these systems. And so the small systems are just very fast to market. Additionally, due to the fact that the simplicity of the AEM electrolyzer allows us to make them very cost effectively, we can standardize and mass produce them. And actually, this is the fastest way to reduce cost. And even when we're now going into the megawatt scale with our AEM multi-core concept, we are still using exactly the same stack that is also in our standard small-scale electrolyzer. And we're just combining 420 of them together in one big container with a shared balance of plant, and that is cheaper than a comparative PEM electrolyzer system.
Okay, and for the people who are not familiar with the exact terminology, balance of plants, that's all the systems surrounding the stack, right? The systems that we need to make the stack function.
Yes.
Okay, and for these smaller systems, is the balance of plants then also shared, or is that in each system, or how does that work?
Yeah, we have the new product generation, which is called the EL 4.0. It's just about to enter into production. We have the first one at our booth here. And yes, the EL 4.0 is this, we call it a single core electrolyzer. There's one stack in there with a dedicated balance of plant. So everything needed to operate that electrolyzer is included in the product. And it's super easy to install. You just only need to connect electricity and provide clean water and scan the QR code, and you're basically ready to go. So everything is included within that product. And we are then working with making it very easy for system integrators, project developers to take our product, EL 4.0, combine as many of them as needed together into one system that can then operate like one big electrolyzer. Our goal is to make it as easy as possible to allow our partners to go into and develop their projects and realize their projects in a very easy and fast way.
Okay, you mentioned integration partners. So this is how you usually work. You work together with integration partners. What part of the process do they take care of, and what part of the process do you guys take care of?
Yeah, so our focus is really on making the electrolyzer as cheap as possible. So we are really focused on making a standardized product that is then easy to use for all kinds of projects. And so in a normal case, the project developer will configure the system for his end user and he will take care of all the integration of multiple electrolyzer units together with storage tanks, fuel cells, whatever else might be there, and he will take care of the entire project. And we will focus on providing the electrolyzer building block as cost effectively as possible. And then in addition to that, we also provide software solutions to allow a software toolkit to allow integrators to then control these electrolyzers in an intelligent way without much integration and programming effort.
Okay, sounds good. And I can imagine that also helps in, as I read on your website, you want to make green hydrogen. You want to bring that to €1.5 per kilogram. So we have the cost effectiveness of the AEM technology with the fact that you make these small modules and you combine them. Is that enough to reach that €1.5 per kilogram, or are there other bottlenecks that you're facing?
Yeah, of course. You always have to consider electricity costs. So you need low-cost renewable electricity to make hydrogen possible. That's very clear. But yes, with AEM Electrolysis and our EL project, EL 4.0, we have already what we believe is the most economical solution for decentralized small to medium scale projects up to maybe a few hundred kilowatts. And then for the AEM multi-core, we're entering into the megawatt range, also at a price point significantly below other electrolyzers, well on our way to beating fossil fuels on price.
I mean, I'm convinced, and it seems to be that I'm not the only one who's convinced, because you won the Earthshot Prize recently. How was that for the team?
So the Earthshot Prize was a really big deal for us. So it's a big prize started by the Royal Foundation in the UK, finding the solutions to save the world basically over the next 10 years. And for us, it was a big honor to be selected here in the Fix the Climate category. So for us, it's validation that we're on the right track. AEM electrolysis is seen as the next generation and has the potential to really replace and play the dominant role in hydrogen generation. And it was a great honor for us to be awarded with this prize, and it gives us extra motivation to deliver on our promise, deliver on our mission.
I can imagine, and that with the ever-growing team, I think you guys started a few years ago. How long ago was it?
Yeah, we started at the end of 2017.
Yeah. With how many people?
We had about 10 people when we started.
Uh-huh.
So the technology had already been under development for about 10 years prior to that by a team of chemists in Italy. But when we took over and started Enapter, yeah, there was about 10 of us, and we've been growing rapidly. Today we have more than about 250 employees in multiple locations. In Pisa, we still have our main R&D and current serial production. And here in Germany and Northern Westphalia, we are building the first mass manufacturing facility for our AEM electrolyzers, which is going to be completely powered only from locally produced renewable energy, without even a single gray kilowatt hour used in the production.
Well, I mean, you're on track to realize your mission, I think. Maybe this is a good moment to ask the audience if there are any questions. Please just raise your hand if you have a question. There's one. Let me bring the microphone over to you.
Warner Priest from Intercontinental Energy in Australia. I was wondering what the stack life is for AEM. I thought that might be an issue with AEM, but was very keen to understand what it is today and where you expect it to be in the future.
Yes, good question. So today, we don't see any issue basically with the membrane, which is typically seen as limiting the lifetime. We don't have any issues. So in our system, the membrane is completely stable. We have more than 10,000 hours of operation in our systems already today. And this is, what is possible in the last 2 years that our product generation is available. Today we are estimating at least 35,000 hours of lifetime, but really we don't see any reason why it should be any shorter than other electrolyzers. And a couple of years down the line, I think we'll be there above 50,000, 60,000 hours, just like everyone else.
All right. Also for other members of the audience, if you have a question, just raise your hand. In the meantime, I do have a question. You mentioned this production facility in the north of Germany, and you mentioned this new megawatt scale products that you are going to put out. So how far along are you with that?
Yeah, the facility in Saarbeck in Northern Westphalia is currently under construction. So we had the groundbreaking in September last year, and should be finished by the end of this year, so that over the course of 2023, we can start production right at the beginning of 2023 and then ramp up to the full capacity over the course of next year. And the AEM multicore, our megawatt electrolyzer, will play an important role. So today it's in prototyping stage, and commercial production is about to start with the first customer delivery scheduled for June 2023.
Ready to order. All right.
Absolutely.
Maybe good for everybody to know. You can order these electrolyzers at booth number C56, which is roughly over there, I think. So
yes.
Okay, it's over there. I'm correct. So definitely feel free to pop by there and ask some other questions. All right. You were telling this story, and it seems like everything is going quite well, right? You have your orders, you have the technology ready. So what are you looking for here? What is it you're hoping to find here at Hydrogen Fuel Cells Europe?
Yeah, it's great to be back here after a few years of just online conferences. So it's great to meet a lot of people. For us here, this is a great opportunity to meet project developers, to meet partners. On the one hand, we're working on industrialization for our products and our manufacturing, so it's great to connect with a lot of suppliers. But on the other hand, of course, we want to realize all these hydrogen projects, and so we're just delivering the building block. We need system integrators and project developers to then do the rest and really make it happen on the ground. And so that's what we hope to accomplish here.
All right, and with this changing. Maybe not changing focus, but increasing product offering of also larger scale systems. How do you expect your clients or the applications in which your products will be used, how do you expect that to change?
Yeah, well, that's a very good question. So, I mean, In our history, in Enapter's short history, we started with a lot of energy storage projects. So remote energy systems, replacing diesel generators, for example, long-term backup power to increase autonomy for microgrids, for example. But in the last year already, we've seen a big shift, and we've had a lot more projects in other fields, such as hydrogen refueling. It's a big aspect. A lot of some of our maybe most interesting projects that our integration partners are doing are for refueling stations, for hydrogen mobility, cars, forklifts, airplanes, and so on. So that's something that we expect to grow in the future. And of course, industrial use cases. So maybe one thing that we didn't expect to happen so early is industrial use cases such as ammonia production to already be happening with the small modular electrolyzers that we have today. But the fact is that's already happening. There's a great picture of an ammonia production plant also on our booth. And and so those kind of use cases with the availability of the megawatt solution will become even more dominant. But at the same time, all the decentralized energy storage projects, we will also benefit from the cost reduction that we have on the electrolyzer technology.
Yeah, because okay. So what's for the future then? What's next?
I mean, for now we are really focused on getting our mass production up and running. We're about to the EL 4.0 is about to go into production. We're really excited for this and making these projects happen. And of course, the multi-core next year is going to be a huge step forward for us to go into the megawatt range as well.
All right. Any questions from the audience? Still no questions? No? All right. Then I would suggest that you all visit Enapter at their stand, C56, as I said. It's over there. I think we are going to wrap this up then, unless there's anything else you would want to tell the audience.
Oh, thanks very much for being here. And,
thank you very much for being here.
Please do visit us at our booth.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I would like to thank you for being here, and I would like to thank you, the audience, for being here. It was great having you. Great questions.